I'm sorry that this episode is late. We recorded it, and over the Christmas period and the holidays, I got really busy. So the episode's out now, but episodes will be back to normal at some point. Thanks for your patience, and I hope everybody had a nice New Year and a good Christmas. Catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Slash and Cast.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
That's the podcast we call horror and nothing but horror. How is everybody doing today? Hope it's doing well. And today we are back, and today to end off the year that has been 2025. A good year for the podcast, to be honest. We've got Pit and Mori on the show and stuff, everything, and we've got to like 40 episodes, and some good topics, and the podcast has done really well for itself, to be honest. So what we're doing today is we're doing a horror awards, and as always, this podcast is brought to you by the Slasher and Cast Podcast Network and my YouTube channel, Slasher Media. We talk horror for horror, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Mori.
Hello, guys.
So, what we'll do is we'll do categories. Then you'll see a video of the categories and of the contestants, and then we will do the winners. Obviously, we did do a fan vote as well, so we'll mention when we get to the fan vote that it is the fan vote, and then I'll go into the statistics as well. So, first category we have Best Horror Movie Director. And the winner of Best Horror Movie Director goes to Francis Lawrence for The Long Walk. Me and Maury were talking about this because it was between Francis Lawrence for The Long Walk and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. But we came to the conclusion of The Long Walk because The Long Walk was an interesting movie. It was different, and to do a movie about people walking and making it interesting couldn't have been easy. So I think it definitely the director definitely deserves this win.
So Francis Lawrence, absolutely, I feel wins this. Ryan Coogler's work with Sinners is a cinematographical, like, it's a masterpiece, right? It's fantastic. But I think what Francis Lawrence did with building up a dystopian America that, we don't actually know what happened to America. We don't know why America has gotten into this fascist state, or really, why they're here. We're experiencing
And
very
it's not
grounded
like
characters as taught of the stories.
It's also like the Long Walk isn't forced upon people to take part in.
It's a casual lottery system. Well, I mean, it definitely, I actually don't know when the book was written, but I would argue that the Hunger Games was definitely pulled from this idea, which, I mean, no one owns the idea of a dystopian lottery, right? But a lot of people get inspiration from Stephen King's work, and The Long Walk was absolutely a masterpiece with a very Myst-like resolution. That's just reminiscent of King's work. That's why Francis Lawrence, top dog this year.
I think Long Walk came out first. Right, next category.
Next category is Best Horror TV Show.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
We don't really talk about it. No, not.
And the winner is It Welcome to Derry Season 1. The thing I liked about Welcome to Dairy season 1 is the fact that not only is it a more original kind of retelling of some of the origins of Pennywise, all completely Stephen King actually advised as well as approved. So Stephen King loves what the writers are doing with it. It adds a whole new level of the terror and the oppressive presence and hold that it has on the town.
Plus, we
And I
learn
think
more
that's what's fantastic.
about why he can't leave Derry and like stuff like that. And also got this military story going on with the military um, wanting to release Pennywise to teach America. Because this military guy basically says something like, America is the real war is inside their own country, and he wants to release Pennywise to create panic and stuff so that people forget that is happening.
Which is hilarious to say the least, because that idea comes from the idea, like, because they talk about the hate crime that occurred at the Black Spot, right? And his idea is like, oh, the next day, look how peaceful the streets are. So it's like, so your solution is to let out an entity that's going to further cause more hate crime and civil unrest. So the next day, people peaceful. It's silly, right?
Well, that's it.
But
That guy
it
got
makes sense.
chased
Yeah.
by Pennywise, and he was like, "Oh, never mind. What a fucking
Yeah.
idiot."
But yeah, absolute beautiful, beautiful work, and that makes it Welcome to Derry the second of King's work this year to make this list, which is pretty phenomenal and just shows King's impact on the horror genre.
Oh, that's it. King is a great writer, and Pennywise is definitely one of my favorite horror icons in the past few years. Right.
And to note, and one last thing with it to note, some people will say like, "Oh, King's work is kind of, like they're." Some people say that he's not really all that great of a horror writer, or they say, "Well, hey, Welcome to Derry, it's changing the narrative. Like, it's not really King's work. It's not following the book anymore." It's like, here's the thing: if you're a writer and you've written something 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you wrote something with your own experience, your own mindset. Now you've had 30 years to see how other people take and interpret your work, right? So he sees these origins and these changes that the writers have offered up for Pennywise, and honestly, he probably
when it
looked at it and
comes to
said, "You know
King,
what? I never thought of that."
I think when it comes to King, the only like adaptation of his book that he hasn't liked has been The Shining, because he didn't like the original Shining movie. He remade it and did it himself. I think that's the only time that the only movie that's been made out of his book that he didn't like.
Yeah. And that's why it's like fantastic, right? Because you see these changes to the Pennywise sort of stuff, and it's like this is all a win. And honestly, King probably looked at it and said, "I didn't think about that. This flows so
And
much better." I love it.
A lot of the show as well reference other King books. You've got Shawshank in there as a reference, and you've got
You have Castle Rock.
yeah, and you've got Halloran as a main character, and he's using the Shining power. And Pennywise has used that power against him. Right, next category is Best Horror Movie Protagonist.
He chose evil. How's that good?
And the winner for Horror Movie Protagonist is Peter McFries from The Long Walk. Is it McFrizz or McFries?
It's honestly, very good question. I feel bad, but it's also a weird name. It's a different name. I'll say it that way.
I'm sorry if I said that wrong, basically. But yeah, The Long Walk was a great movie, and you obviously think that the other character that is the last to be alive at the end is, the main one. But no, it's Peter who's the main character, and I think the actor who plays him who was also in Alien Romulus. He's a really good actor, and I think he is definitely going to go a long way in his career. And I really do hope to see him in more stuff because I think he's really talented.
Quite literally, the change up from the android persona of Romulus, where he really plays it off very nicely, to this really grounded, emotional, slight jokester of a character. Like he's kind of like the caretaker of the whole group for a bit. You know what I mean? Like he's the moral thing keeping others going, and it's just great. McVries, that's the pronunciation's Dutch. Is exceptional. He's definitely going to be a horror icon in the coming years.
Yeah, I think this guy has a really good career ahead of him in horror, and I can't wait to see what else he's able to do, even if it's non-horror. Like I think he does real well, and he definitely deserves this win, as well. Right,
100%.
next.
All right, the next category is best horror antagonist.
Please, no. Don't abandon me.
Knows now, and I want you to let us in there.
I brought myself. I chose to come here.
And the winner is Remick from Sinners. So Remick, fantastic, 1500-year-old, Celtic vampire. He, in all honesty, so, yeah, he's mass murdering. Yes, he's ruthless. Yes, he's, absolutely terrifying. But he also, he's played by Jack O'Connell. He embodies a special kind of charisma, the kind that you would see with the likes of, like a Charles Manson, with the likes of, like these cult of personalities that draw people in, because that's really what vampires are in this rendition. Is they're a cult, right? They're a cult of people all believing the same thing, following the same thing. There is individuality, right? But it's just so menacing the way he's so frankly polite. Honestly, he just has a certain charm about him that, frankly, not many can truly resist, and that is the point of that's a good vampire. There is the one that you start questioning yourself, is he really that bad of a guy? And it's like, that's how they get you, right? That's how you're drawn in. And it's so fantastic. Like the road to Dublin, first of all. That was my favorite scene of the entire film.
Was that good? That you had people dressing up as Remick and characters from Sinners at Comic-Con doing the dance in a circle.
The only thing I wish they would have changed is I would have wished that at the end of the song, like he's going into more of his river dancing, if all of the actors that weren't playing instruments all kind of lined up with him dancing like in perfect unison. Because like even thinking about that gives me like goosebumps. You can't really see it here, but I get goosebumps because imagine like that very like chilling, sudden, uncanny valley nature of them all like puppets on a string doing exactly the same thing, and that the characters in the slaughterhouse, if they had noticed and recognized, right, like in that moment of none of our friends or family like ever knew how to dance like that, and suddenly boom, like could you imagine if what's his name, the big guy, the big guy, his name's Louis, but could you imagine what it would have been like if he started straight Irish river dancing there? Like, so good. Frankly, Remick, fantastic.
Perfect killer and perfect acting wise, and I think it's just really well done in general.
10 out of 10 would have fallen.
Next category. Best horror franchise entry of this year.
All these years.
And the winner is 28 Years Later. So 28 years later is the third entry in the 28 franchise. So you had 28 days, then 28 weeks. Wait a minute. Is this it is the third, isn't it?
It is the third, correct?
So we had 28 days, 28, was it 28 weeks?
Correct. Yep.
What happened to 28 months?
It never happened. They talked about it, but it was never a thing.
Yeah. So then we've got 28 years later, which this one, the world is actually fully taken over by zombies, so this is actually more of the apocalypse side of things now. And we also do have a sequel coming out to this, and it won't be 28 whatever years later. This will be 28 years later, the Bone Temple. So it's got a sub name underneath. Overall, zombies were great in this. The actors were great. This movie seemed to be bigger than the first two. It was star packed. Definitely
Like a Danny Boyle.
Yeah, it was really good. And in the next one, we will have returning actor. We will have the guy from the first film returning.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. We'll have Cillian Murphy returning in the next movie as his character from the first. So we'll get to see what he's been up to ever since 28 days later. But yeah, what about you?
I love the concept of this. I know some people who are especially fans of the first two weren't as happy about this. In fact, a coworker of mine literally said that she loved it, but her husband and sons who loved the first movies were like, "What is this?" And it's like in that moment you understand that some people they didn't understand the point of the 20 years later. It's not meant to be just another zombie horror. It's to show the post-societal collapse, people surviving and building themselves back up, as well as showing that in all honesty, the rage virus isn't simply a zombie virus. It's like a mutated form of rabies that let people go crazy. But now, as you see, like they're not dead, decaying corpses that shamble about, right? They're fast, they are bestial, and the idea is much in the same way of the in the video version, because since the book was different of I Am Legend, you're seeing the infected starting to evolve back in arguably in parallel, right? Parallel to how humans evolved and interacted. And some people just don't understand, like that's a whole different kind of horror, right? It's the idea of like The Walking Dead sort of almost grasped upon with the idea that some walkers just happen to be a little smarter than others kind of thing, but like in a progressively greater scale, right? As they're developing their own society. Um Fantastic. Like I love that take, and I think it's the best take on that idea so far. And frankly, it's a breath of fresh air for the zombie genre.
Yeah, certainly. I think he's. I think it's one of those films where you have to think about it more, like, what type of movie is it and stuff. It's not your typical zombie movie. Right, next category.
Next category is the best fan favorite horror TV show of the year.
Late.
Things happen here.
And the winner is It Welcome to Derry.
To be honest, this was not. This was easy to choose because Alien Earth, as much as I did like some of it, it did have problems. It did have issues. That I hope are addressed in season 2. Marvel Zombie season 1, as much as I did like it, I just liked It Welcome to Derry more. It Welcome to Derry is just cements the fact that Andy Muschietti, who directed the films and now this, he can really bring Pennywise to new audiences and show what makes Pennywise such an interesting and the story of Pennywise, what makes it interesting to the viewer.
Absolutely. And just simply like you've heard me talk so much about this already in this episode, but purely the remastering, if you will, of the Pennywise story, as well as showing like we get to see the evolution of it as well. The evolution from, poor kind of beggar boy persona into Bob Gray's Pennywise, the dancing clown. Um onto the screen, but also my favorite, like obviously, at the time of this recording, the finale has not been released yet. We your typical watcher as of unit, we haven't seen it. My favorite scene is as soon as that obelisk is removed and the young boy whose name eludes me, I'm really bad with names, he gets that phone call and he straight up starts giving Pennywise the what for, because at at first I was confused. I was like, why is he doing this? And I realized it's because up to this point he was quote unquote outside the bounds. He's talking mad shit to somebody that he thinks can't even touch him. He turns around and he's right there on the fucking fridge. And in that moment, it's oh fuck, right? It is such that little flip scene is great. Also, I saw a meme. It wasn't really so much a meme as like it was just a behind the scenes picture, and someone pointed out that fucker Pennywise, like he's 6 feet tall. He's a 6 foot tall man in a clown costume, hunched on top of this fridge, just waiting behind this little kid.
I have seen
Fucking terrifying.
I have seen behind the scenes thing of this. Of course, the boy when he gets the phone call, he thinks it's the girl with the dad who's been accused of murdering. And then basically on the scene, it's that actress and Pennywise actor are sat next to each other. So she talks, and then it shifts into him talking. So they're actually on set doing this phone call, and then it cuts obviously to Pennywise being on the fridge. And I think it's really well made, and this entire movie, this entire scene was perfect. I think this has to be my favorite scene, other than when you see Pennywise at the black spot. But other than that, I think this entire movie was fucking entire series. I'm sorry, is amazing and very well made.
100%. I mean, the pilot was great too. The pilot, absolutely, because I had heard things about the pilot episode, and I completely just like I tuned it out because I'm like, I'm gonna watch it when I watch it. And then as I was watching, I was like, oh, I have good hopes. Like I know ultimately this story is before the movie and stuff, so obviously it's not gonna end well. But as things popped off, I was like, holy shit, this is good. We're in for a treat, and
nothing was held back. They
didn't
hold back at all. So next category we have fan favorite horror movie of the year, and I also want to go into statistics for the TV show. So we'll get back to that in a minute. For the TV show, this was so we had 6 responses to the form. 50% voted It Welcome to Dairy. So that was 3 votes. 1 person voted Marvel Zombies. 2 people voted Alien Earth. So we have a 16.7% of people voted Marvel Zombies, and then 33% was Alien Earth. So that was interesting. So next category is fan favorite horror movie of the year. Nominees are and the winner for fan favorite horror movie of the year goes to Sinners. So Sinners, I think me and you, like, to be honest, I think Sinners was gonna win anyway.
Oh, 100%.
I had a feeling Sinners was going to
100%.
win. Because I could tell from when we were doing the bracket, which by the way, the winner of the bracket was Sinners. I was going to say now. So
Not only that, oh, sorry.
So Sinners, I could tell from the bracket and the people voting was Sinners was going through each round of the bracket like seamlessly. And to be fair, on the form, no one else got any votes. Sinners got 100% of the vote on the form for the fan favorite. So it's got to show that this movie had a massive impact on people, and it's cool to see. It was cool to see a movie get this much love.
And to note, a huge thing for me too is, so one, I have not rewatched it since I saw it in theaters, because up to this point, it's a movie that when I want to watch, like if I'm gonna watch it, I can't give any attention to anything else. Like it has to be only this movie because it's so good, so dense, so packed. But I'd like to make a special note about the late Chadwick Boseman's entire influence over this film. Okay, because ultimately, so Ryan Coogler was the director of Black Panther, right? And so Coogler worked closely with Bosman, as did Michael B. Jordan. Worked closely. They described themselves like brothers. They were very close. And there were rumors, and I haven't been able to find like a pure thing saying, hey, if Chadwick Boseman was alive, he would actually play Smoker Stack, right? Right? He would have played one of the brothers. And the proof, though, that in my opinion, it was like it would have happened that way is Michael B. Jordan. He drew inspiration from Bosman, and he even asked himself, what would Bosman do when he was working through some of the scenes? He channeled it. Coogler and Jordan together shaped a lot of the choices in the film because of Chadwick Boseman, including the church pillars are Wakandan like a design, like they're designed reminiscent. As a subtle homage to the Black Panther, to Chadwick Boseman, right? And that's, I think, what also adds another layer of complexity to the emotional impact of this film, because it's also, it has such a strong tribute to such an amazing actor. And I think it just makes it so much greater. I think when you watch the film in that sense, like understanding that or realizing that, you realize just how like I feel like the impact of the twins is felt, right? That inseparable kind of link. It's absolutely glorious. It's beautiful. And even then, like ultimately the villains of this movie aren't really like you can like there's a lot of takes, but really even Remick and the vampires aren't quite the villain here, right? Because he reflects another lost culture that was discriminated against, reflecting with the black culture of the South, the blues, right? And it's so good. So good. And the pics show it.
It's definitely worth the win, and the movie is fantastic. Next category.
The next category is Best Kill Scene. And the winner is the guy getting his head chopped off from It Welcome to Derry episode 7. That is chopped in half. This scene is the killing of Periwinkle's, I actually forget the main character's actual name, husband, Stanley, if I recall his name correctly. Just after his friends, his mob of friends left, he couldn't start his car. He's getting out, messing with it, and out comes his darling wife, who he immediately starts ripping into, only to turn around and see our good friend Pennywise with a remarkably wicked cleaver.
She says hi, Papa, or something to him.
And Stanley's just like, what? turns and sees this wicked huge cleaver that was reminiscent of like, think like Art the Clown, Terrifier style like knife, but bigger, and then cleave it off. And honestly, the practical effects of that squishy little head as he's biting into it, and he's just munching away absentmindedly, just like, yep, this is some good stuff, like, I like that. It's just something about it. Something about it is just beautiful, right? Like, it's so just to the point. He doesn't do anything like particularly menacing in that moment to kill him. It's just shoop. One must wonder if Pennywise caused the car to malfunction because he wanted that to be the icing on the cake, the cherry on the sundae. You know what I mean? Of just like, here we go. Beautiful, like absolutely beautiful kill. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a really good kill. It was like really fucking like my face went like of all the kills in the show. It's weird that this one is the one that made me go, "Oh fuck."
The tongue flapping after the head's already like gone off, as if his body wasn't finished yet. Because I think he was trying to say something. I can't remember what it was, but it's just yeah. So
like,
I hope
Bro
it's all
had it
practical
coming
effect there.
after what he did, but that had my face in shock. Like, what the? I wasn't expecting Pennywise to just fucking do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I was watching this during work while I was just absentmindedly doing like work stuff, and that when this entire section popped up, I actually was cussing at the screen. I was pissed, and I said, "I want to see all these fuckers die." And it didn't give me all of them dying too, but it gave me him. It gave me the man losing his head, right? So that made me happy, but also like, oh, and that's when you know a scene's done right.
What they deserve, because all of them were ass. All of them deserve something.
Arguably, you can say like all it proves is that I'm human with the fact I got pissed off watching what was being done there. You know what I mean? But like I said though, it was such a emotional.
Before Pennywise even showed up, I was so mad at what was happening. I was angry.
Yeah, because partially I was mad because the entire like them letting them go peacefully after they got the drop back on them, right? And then not following them out to make sure they leave. That was, and these are like, this is a place frequented, like most of the men in there were all military,
Even I said that to myself, like most of these men are military, so you've basically just killed a bunch of military men and families for what?
And the fact is, like, part of me is like, well, why didn't anyone like follow them out to make sure they leave? And it's like, oh shit, like, oh okay, so there's one fallacy with that entire scene, with that entire like piece. They had a shotgun, and I firmly believe using that shotgun with that style like door and everything, you could have at least attempted to actually make an escape, like breaking, like busting the door, like breaching, boom, boom. And then, granted, that too, tactics I don't think were developed yet. But the issue is, you still would have walked into the firing squad, so they still would have died.
I think these guys will end up getting something done to them because basically they just murdered a kid as well.
Yeah, and well, I mean,
that Richard kid is now dead because of them.
Yeah, and my big thing is like I'm hoping, because in the preview for the last episode I saw like the big fog kind of rolling in, and some people are like, oh, is the mist connected somehow? No, but I think it's an homage. But I'm hoping somehow this fog like descends on Derry, and it's like almost like a Halloween Kills fucking like piece of like how Myers goes door to door just fucking taking people out. I want to see Pennywise going door to door taking all these people out. Like I want them to go.
Next category. So next category we have best transformation scene. And the winner for best transformation scene goes to Pennywise, Welcome to Derry, when Pennywise is the kid and then transforms into his clown form. And I know we've been talking about a lot about Pennywise, a lot about it, so we'll just talk about it a little bit. I love this scene because it's fucking creepy. He starts singing, he spins around this thing, and then his head like splits and then just transforms into Pennywise. It was perfectly done, well edited, well filmed, and it was creepy as fuck.
It also felt like it gave really great homage to, let's face it, the movie that started that really gave practical effects like their push, right? Now, granted, I'm gonna argue I don't know how much of this is CGI and how much is practical effects in this show, but The Thing, right? The Carpenter's The Thing, when they're sitting in the chairs being blood tested, chained up, and as they check the blood and realize one of the members is the Thing, and suddenly his whole head kind of rips up, splits up, and then boom, attacks the other one. Like, this scene brought me back to that as a kid, seeing that. It was beautiful, and at the same exact time, and I know we discussed this person ourselves, but like the song he starts humming to these children who he gave this false hope to, about all the tunnels go underground where none of the children will ever be found. They wandered away to join the show and lost their way in the world below. They swallowed the pills and they lost their fear, but nothing they hoped to find was here. They joined the circus and left their town. Now they live down here with the clown. Down with the clown. Down with the clown. Down with the clown. And that's the moment when he leaps forward, jumps in their faces like he does, and goes, now they live down here with the clown. And it's just, they're just standing in horror, right? Absolute horror. They may have taken pills that remove that kind of horror, right?
Movies think that horror is a lot of jump scares, but like this was terrifying because what the fuck was I just watching moment.
Think of the childhood innocence that's already been getting disturbed throughout this entire like arc of these kids. They find their friend, they believe their friend's alive. You know, they believe like, oh my god, my friend's alive, and we're gonna go save the others. We're gonna go stop this thing, right? They have the hope. They have the hope that only children can have in a thing like this, because us as adults watching say, no, 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 that's too good to be true. You can't trust it, but children will trust it, right?
Children want to believe in this stuff.
Oh, yeah, and it's so good. Such a strong transformation.
Right, next category.
And the next category is the most binge-worthy show.
They never even found a body.
And the winner is Stranger Things Season 5.
So, when it comes to Stranger Things, obviously, I know a lot of people got out of the show because of the long waiting times. Me, I was one of them. But then when I watched the first batch, I was like, I know why I like this show again. Yes, I know a lot of people are shitting on Noah Schnaps because he seems to, like, his reaction to stuff isn't, like, a lot of people say he's not a good actor. To be honest, I think he did good. I think he did good. And to be honest,
I think Noah Schnaps is fantastic.
I think this entire show is great. And I've been looking up at the stage show. I know the backstory of the stage show because there's a lot of stuff in this season that you really need to like pay attention to and know about the stage performance to understand certain things. So that's that really.
Yeah, to make a note, this is probably the only real flaw I see in Stranger Things is the fact that they have admitted they did not create Vecna until I think like midway through the writing is like in like season 2, like then they started like writing and worked Vecna in. So there's a bit of messiness with the plot there, which has led to some confusion over Vecna and the Mind Flayer and who's in control of who does what. I think also it's a great hubbub to get people talking, keep people interested, because we want to know the answer. We may think we know it can be changed. That Broadway show, fantastic. I think it's a beautiful way to deliver more plot information, but I kind of wish they had filmed or created a synopsis, something for Netflix, and the similar way The Witcher's most recent season had the Rats movie that you could only view after you watch the season, like to watch the season and then it pops up as an option kind of thing. I feel like we needed your casual consumer needed to have a more accessible way to see the first shadow. That way you could understand more of what's
I'd
going
be
on
saying
here.
this as well because I think they should allow it to be on Netflix. Especially, I think that's probably what they might do is they might put it on Netflix when the stage show is no longer available on stage. I think it
Yeah.
is possible that they will. It's possible that they have filmed the entire show for it to be put on Netflix, and they're just waiting to release it.
It could even be, yeah, the idea that, hey, for you real super fans out there, you know what's going on. The others, they're kind of catching along, right? But like, beautiful, beautiful show. I binged it. I didn't do anything for the American Thanksgiving. I watched this show. I watched all the episodes released to this date, right? We only have half the season, with the other half releasing on Christmas Eve, and then the final finale being what, New Year's Eve, I think, if I remember
Yeah,
the
the
release
next
plan.
batch is Christmas Day, and then the last episode is so batch 2 is, I think, yeah, it's Christmas Day, and it will be every episode will probably be about an hour, and
Yeah,
then the final is going to be New Year's Eve, and will be 2 hours long.
exactly. And so, to talk about Noah Schnaps too, because this is like his only real major role he's done acting wise, right?
I believe
And to
so.
think that he grew up from like a little kid to this, like, most of those kids, puberty hit them like a truck and fast, right? And I think as he's growing as an actor, he's still learning. And the fact that, he's a bit awkward because of puberty and like growing up and everything like that, I think it's a bit like, obviously, like I remember like the joke about how when he grabs the back of his neck, right? But here's the thing: strong, like beautiful. I love Will's character. I actually read the other day, and it was someone bashed being like, why do they keep adding, LGBT, characters in shows? They're like, why do they make Will, why do they make him this? And I literally, you can point out in season 1 when they literally have the sideline of his dad making a comment about it. Everybody knew all along. In the story, it was always there. And people just they seem to forget that, and then they add in like, oh, that's kind of weird. No, it's beautiful. It's great. Like I think the show actually explores a lot of the various types of love, etc. I mean, I could break that down in a whole different video. Like, I love it, but yeah, great show.
Next category. So now we're on to the final 2 categories, and these are our of the year categories. So first one is horror TV show of the year.
Maybe you could figure out what really happened to him. Could have been a drifter.
And they're coming for us.
And no one is surprised, it's Welcome to Derry Season 1. To be honest, I think this show winning so many categories is because it's just fantastic. It's well received. It's a really good show, and I think, to be honest, it's the best horror TV show of the year. It is the best horror TV show of the year, no matter what. It's really well made. It's fantastic. I was looking forward to this because I was like, oh, an It TV series, is that going to work? And oh my god, it did. Even though Pennywise didn't show up till later, I was like, I didn't care because we got to see other forms he could take, and it was very well made. And yeah, there's not, like, we've said a lot about the show, so I can't really say any more on that.
Yeah, so the big thing is it's already been announced for 2 more seasons. They already have season 2 and 3, and I believe it's already been confirmed. It's going backwards in cycles. So it's actually going to be going back another 27 years to the previous cycle, and it's going to do that one more time as well. And the big thing about this is, I think we will see how well it does in the next season when Pennywise doesn't exist, because the next cycle is actually when Pennywise gets, the previous cycle is when Pennywise becomes. So we will see more Pennywise likely in season 2. Season 3,
we didn't know Bill Skarsgård was going to play Pennywise in the show. They originally we knew the show was coming, but there was no news on Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise, so everybody was thinking,
because he also announced before.
They thought, oh, they're just going to recast him for this because some reason. But then when I found out he was coming back, I was like, yes. Please.
Because like a big thing is he's never made it a secret how this character haunts him as well. Like, it's definitely a very haunted character for him also. But then the bigger ramifications of this show being so wildly successful is this is probably greenlighting a lot of projects to make a greater Stephen King universe as Stephen King deserves. There are already talks of a Dark Tower TV show where the writer is working very close with Stephen King to make sure that it is as faithful to the book as possible, unlike that movie 2014 with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited because I love nothing more than a huge, interacting universe, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Final category.
The horror movie of the year. I'll give you guys like 3 guesses. 3. Obviously, we can't, audit that, but it's Sinners. We all know it's Sinners. Sinners, absolutely fantastic movie. I could continue talking about it all day. I will say this one thing about Sinners, and really, as like a wrap of this entire, awards, is the fact that it's the episode 7, The Black Spot of It, Welcome to Derry, and Sinners itself have a lot of like beautiful cinematographical parallelism that's just beautiful, and it absolutely showcases true art. It's so good. Both these two mediums, I could write essays on it.
To be honest, I think Sinners is probably like, I'm a werewolf guy, so me having favorite werewolf movies is good. But when it comes to vampires, I'm not selective, but I'm also like very I don't like many. So if you are on my favorite vampire list, you've got to have done something amazing. My favorite vampire movie of all time will always be Lost Boys, but Sinners is my second favorite vampire movie of all time. I think it's phenomenal and definitely deserves this win. But yeah, that has been it for the year. We can't wait to see what 2026 brings for the podcast and stuff, because definitely gonna try our best at doing more stuff and different mini games at the beginning and different categories and other things like that. And I can't wait to see where this goes and how things happen in the world, and like what horror we get in 2026 and stuff like that. I'm excited to see where this goes from here.
Aren't we getting Robert Eggers' next film in 2026?
Are we?
Yes, we are. We should be getting Werewolf.
Ah, yeah, we are werewolf.
I'm eagerly anticipating the 2026 year. We're getting the next Scream as well.
Yeah, I'm going
Return
to see
of,
that.
yeah.
I'm going to see that. I'm telling you now, my theory is Stu Mocker is alive and he is Ghostface.
Absolutely 100%. And I love Lillard.
I know like that's a big stretch, but to be honest, that would be fucking amazing. If you just
100%.
if you just end up having Matthew Lillard back and he is Ghostface. If not, then fine. But I think it's a cool idea. But yeah, we can't wait to see what happens. But that has been it from us, guys. We hope everybody did enjoy today's episode, and we'll see you all next year, whenever that may be. And let's hope next year is the year we get to 100 episodes. But we'll see you guys in the next one. I've been one of your hosts, Slasher.
And I'm your other host, Mori.
And this has been Slasher Cast, the podcast we talk horror and nothing but horror. Brought to you by the Slasher Cast Podcast Network. And remember, keep on slashing and keep watching horror.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.